Hello and welcome back to Sacred Vapes, channel that aims to bring you views and experiences of products on the market today, brought to you by an average vapor. Now, finally I am back with my reviews. Sorry about the little bit of a hiatus. Unfortunately, I just got into a little bit of a lull, just never having the time to do reviews. So, I've used a fair few products over the last few months, certainly since the last time I'd done a review video, and I'm going to start off with something very, very interesting indeed. It is the Aspire Odan. Now, this was a little bit cloak and dagger from Aspire. Normally when they're bringing a product out, there's normally a massive amount of hype. Certainly there's a massive amount of publicity. And for this, there wasn't really anything. It kind of just appeared out of nowhere. And what it is, it's a low-powered sub-ohm tank, which, given that most tanks nowadays are pushing 70 plus, the fact that you've got the Valerian 2 and the Smart TFE 16 coming out with your power tanks, it's really, really interesting to see Aspire just roll it back, go back to basics, back to the cleito, and bring out something that is rather interesting. So we'll get talking about it, we'll go into the up close, but first, let's give her a vape. And welcome to the unboxing of the Aspire Odan tank. Now, this is the packaging you get it in. It's completely different to what you normally get from Aspire, which is a bit of a nice change. Nice clean packaging. It seems most companies are going for this simpler design now. So you get your contents, everything else. You get information on the side. No authenticity code though, which is surprising given that Aspire meant to have brought out a new version. So we'll get her open. What you get, your instruction booklet, you get O-rings, a warranty card. Now that is everything else. You get the spare glass, which I think is 4mm. You get coil, which is the 30 to 35. Let me just get that up for you. Sorry, 35 to 45, 0.3. And then there is the tank with the diamond cut glass, or diamond etched glass if you want to call it that. And it looks absolutely fantastic, doesn't it? It's a weighty little thing. So you get your replaceable 810 drip tip that's just flew off across the table. Just push in. Bottom adjustable airflow. Now you'll be wondering why there's liquid in it. I'll show you that in just a sec. Now fill hole is there. What you do is you lift up and then push back. And then there's your fill hole. Nice and simple. And let's get her open. Unscrew the base. And now there is your coil. This is the 0.3. So obviously had a fair bit of use. And look, that's why there's liquid in it. It's completely sealed away, so you can't actually leak from the tank. Pulling the coil out, you'll still be in there. And that is it. That's the Aspire Odan. So let's take it back up top now. We'll get talking about it more and we'll give a few pros and cons. Welcome back. So that was the up close for the Aspire Odan. We'll get talking about it now. We'll get into the pros and cons of it and see if it's actually worth picking up. And before we carry on, I didn't really focus on the up close as much as I should have done, but look how nice that glass is. It's a diamond etched design, it's a 6mm capacity, and yeah, just absolutely beautiful. Nothing like that on the market today, not as far as I'm aware anyway. It actually makes using the straight glass a bit redundant, because why wouldn't you want a tank like that? But yeah, we'll get talking about it now. We'll get into the pros and cons. And the first pro for me is going to be that 6mm capacity. Absolutely massive. you know, it's going to last you quite a while. So yeah, straight in there with that. Next pro for me is going to be the flavour on these coils, and they are really, really nice. They are, it's hard to really describe them because they're more pushing towards the Falcon territory rather than something more like direct, if that makes sense. Like, you do get a nice thorough flavour. You definitely get it on the inhale, and just throughout this flavour, throughout the inhale and exhale. Really, really nice. Next pro for me is going to be the vapor production at around 55 watts. As you can see, this is a cloud chucking tank, even though the power doesn't suggest it is. Now, as a result, the liquid does drink a little bit quicker than what you would like at that range. Certainly quicker than something like the Cleito did. But yeah, you're getting the vapor production as a result. So it's not hard to critique it for that, if that makes sense. But yeah, next pro for me, plenty of airflow, as you can hear. So there's plenty of adjustments at the bottom for you to turn it down the warmer vape that you would like. That's really going to come into its own when you drop down to the other coil and vape around 40 watts. You know, you can pump the heat up a little bit, and it's a nice warm flavourful vape. Next pro for me is going to be, I mean, I know I opened with it, but just the overall looks of it. There's nothing like it on the market. It looks absolutely stunning, and the fact that Aspire have gone back to their basics of the lower powered sub-ohm, but brought out something that looks as stunning as this. I mean, this is the rainbow version, but it'll come in several different colours, and yeah, it just stands out. It looks really nice. You stick that on top of a really fancy looking mod, and that's really going to pop. That's really going to pop for you. Next pro, the simplicity of it. You know, the fact that you just push in the coils. Big fan of that. When it gives you that throat hit, which these coils do. You know, I have mentioned it before about the smoothness of a pushing coil, but yeah, this does give you that throat hit that you would want from a sub-ohm tank. So, gotta give that. It's leak proof, but it's not leak proof at the top. If you remember, I went back to the Odan review back in February, I think it was now. My biggest issue with that was that the top was sealed, so you couldn't actually get any liquid out if you wanted to change flavour. This doesn't have that sealant on it, so I mean, it's still a little bit of a slow process to do that, but yeah, you can certainly get the liquid out a lot easier than something like the Odan. So they've learned from that mistake, if that's in that sense. They've learned from that to be able to allow you to still change your liquid, but replacing the coils still be simple and leak proof, so you can replace the coils with a full tank if you wanted to, especially if you paid about £20 for that juice. Next pro, it's nice and secure. I say you do have to find the arrow. You do have to lift up. That is a little bit fiddly when you first start, but once you get used to it, it's fine. And yeah, it's nice and secure. You're not going to get that opening at all. And yeah, that pretty much covers everything about the tank. You know, I've covered the coils, the flavour. Coil life, about a week and a half to 2 weeks, depending on your coil, which again is quite good. So again, it falls back into the cleito territory for me because them coils lasted about 2 weeks. So we'll get into the cons of this now. And the first con for me is going to be the weight of it. Now, despite the low power, this tank weighs a ton. It weighs an absolute ton. I couldn't believe it when it turned up, and I've just felt how heavy it was. So yeah, it's not a tank that you're going to put on a small device. And certainly the size of it will make it look a bit odd, but the weight of it as well. So yeah, you want it on a bigger mod. You want it to be able to counterbalance the weight of the tank. Next con, as I say, it's the fact of the sealant design. Some people might want that. Personally, for me, I'm not a big fan of that sealant design at all, because sometimes you do want to just change your liquids nice and quick, and when it's sealed, you won't be able to do that, like I said. Next con for me, I said the coil life for the 0.5 55 coil, the one I'm using now. I would have liked it to last a bit longer. I say it was about a week and a half for me on the first coil. I had to pick up some more ones, and yeah, I would have liked it to be maybe pushing 3 weeks. If they managed to do that, then this would have been a special tank. But yeah, the juice consumption is a bit fast, like I said. Again, at 55 watts, I would have preferred something a little bit slower, just to take more advantage of that 6 mil capacity, get more of a day's worth out of it, if that makes sense. But yeah, it is worth noting the flavour seems to hit your tongue on the inhale quite easy, which not many tanks do this. I mean, it's really nice if you're using something that's not bitter. If you're going to be vaping something like lemon, like a bitter lemon, that may be an issue for you. But yeah, it just means you're getting an initial spike of flavour, almost like the liquid was going in your mouth, but it's not. So it's like a spike of flavour, and then the vapour flavour comes through. So if you're using a complex liquid, it does make it quite a nice experience. So yeah, other than that, for cons, there isn't really any others. I can't really pull it apart from the weight and the coil life. So we'll get into the overall now. And overall, given this was a bit of a cloak and dagger tank for its release, I honestly think it's really, really good. And it's Aspire going back to what made Aspire fantastic. For me, they've always been one of them companies that, on one side, you had things like Nautilus. You had the little pods come out, and they ran with them. You've had all that side of it, and then the parents of the sub-ohm tank. Things like the Atlantis when it released, things like the Cleito, they stood out quite a bit, and I think a lot of tanks of theirs have kind of fell to the wayside, certainly for public knowledge. So this one, I could see really bringing it back. It's not just the looks of it, but the performance of it as well is really, really good. And yeah, would I recommend getting this tank if you want a lower powered vape but still get that vapor hit, and you want something that looks absolutely stunning, then absolutely I would recommend this. I do think it's a really high quality tank. I do think the flavour's nice. I think the construction's fantastic. And apart from the weight, the size and the weight of the tank, there's not really much else I can fault with it. It's one of the best tank releases of the year, in my opinion. So yeah, really, really good job, Aspire. I think it's a really fantastic tank that you've brought out, and hopefully this puts you back on the map for sub-ohm tanks. So yeah, we'll wrap it up there. As always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Coming up as well this weekend, I am going to have the Ringco Ticks review, so certainly check that one out. But yeah, as I always say, stay safe and keep vaping.